So the corruption of an organisation like the News of the World is basically driven by commercial forces. On the first hand, they don't have enough resources and enough reporters to do the job honestly and properly. So they cut corners by using private investigators. And secondly, and maybe more important, they are desperate to get something to sell the paper every Sunday. And that commercial imperative takes over from any kind of ethical or legal worry and drives them into more and more desperate and criminal activities. And it worries me very much, actually, that as the financial squeeze tightens on newspapers, the temptation to do more and more bad things increases. It's a strange story, actually, because it starts at a very small level. It's just a reporter, the royal correspondent of the News of the World, who's got caught behaving badly, and there's a private investigator, and they're both in trouble. It's a small court case, a 24-hour story, but it's got this extraordinary capacity to spread. So, for example, it pulls in the Press Complaints Commission, who've done 2 separate inquiries into it. Those inquiries have been so bad, so weak, so dishonest, that they've seriously discredited themselves. So the PCC gets drawn in. Well, then the police get called in. Scotland Yard hold an inquiry. It turns out they cut short the inquiry without completing it. They failed to interview anybody else from the News of the World, even though their names showed up in seized paperwork in incriminating ways. They failed to go and warn all the victims of the crimes that had been committed. And the question arises, I still don't know the answer to this question, why? Was that because simply they lacked the resources and the legal powers? Or was there something there about not wanting to get into a fight with a powerful newspaper group that explained why they cut short? So the PCC get pulled in, the police get pulled in, and then there's this strange coincidence that the guy who was editing the paper now works as the right-hand man of the guy who's probably going to become the next Prime Minister. So suddenly you're into the heart of political power in this country. So this simple little story just accidentally happens to spread into more and more areas. And the more that people involved try to conceal the truth or lie about the truth, the more interesting it becomes. No. Because on the whole, you have to be able to lie straight in bed at the end of the day. And you know, some of these judgments about what's right and wrong can be tricky, but you have to try to stay on the right side of the line, at least try. And so there's no point in behaving like a corrupt scumbag. You just feel bad about yourself and waste your life. First of all, you have to get some skills. So you need to find a decent course, learn shorthand, typing, media law, interviewing skills, all this basic stuff. And then, if you want to get onto some national news organisation, whatever it is, broadcast or print, the thing is not so much to sell yourself by sending in CVs, but to sell stories. Pick a particular patch, a geographical patch or a subject patch, and know it very well, so that you know things about this patch that the national newspapers don't. And start pitching stories to a particular person on a particular paper so they know who you are when you phone. So they begin to realise that you do know about this patch. And then they'll start to come to you and say, could you write us something about this patch, whatever it is? And so you built a relationship, and then you can start doing some shifts in there. And then maybe when a vacancy comes up, they'll think of you.